2 years outside the military, do I regret it? The short answer is no, but deep down, there's a part of me that says yes. Now, both of these are valid, by the way. And so I'm going to be sharing with you two accounts, my personal as well as like a framed, where you can kind of like numerically categorize it. It's kind of like how I think about it. And so personally, do I regret having left the military? It's no, because when I think back to what led to the decision to even join the military, it's because of money. Right? I needed to make a lot of money. Why? Because I wanted to provide a great life for my family. And within my 8 years in the military, I saved money, learned to invest, started a business, made a lot of money, bought my parents a house. After I left the military, took them on just crazy vacations, and we get to play golf, and I get to live the life that I've always dreamed of when I was a kid. Now, it's not like fully there where I'm like a crazy multi-millionaire, but like the level of freedom and flexibility and the level of knowledge that I have to be able to make money online and not have a corporate job. And a lot of people, my friends, my acquaintances, wish they lived the life that I live. When I think back to that, I'm very grateful that I got to be in the military and having left the military. And so in that sense, and I get to spend time with my family. In that sense, no, right? I don't regret having left the military. Now, it is a yes in the sense that, some of you guys might be watching and you guys are just in a different family situation than I am, right? So for some of you, your parents are well off. They don't need to be taken care of. My parents are immigrants. They work 5-6 days a week. They don't know, they're not highly educated, so they just do what they can, which is just dry cleaning. And they just need financial support, right? Even yesterday, we went to Verizon and I bought them a brand new phone, right? Like they just need to be financially supported. And it's just a responsibility that I've chosen to bear, because some of you might also be looking and saying like, hey, I'm in a similar situation, but I said, screw you to my parents. Like, you guys have to figure it out on your own. Or my parents said like, hey, we'll figure it out. You do you. Like those are valid situations. I'm not saying like that's bad or that's good. Those are all valid. And there's a part of me that I wish I could do that too. But when I think to what makes me happy in life, when I close my eyes, and the moments that makes me smile is the time that I spend with my family. And the way I define happiness is when I see them smile, it also makes me smile, and that gives me purpose and to be able to just live the life that I live. And so it is a deep down yes, I regret joining the military, because had I not had this level of responsibility to be able to financially take care of my parents, there's a part of me that I probably could have stayed in the military, because there's many benefits to it now looking back. Because I'm an entrepreneur, right? Like I just have a business, I do what I do, and the thing about entrepreneurship is everything is reliant on me. If I stop working, if I stop functioning, then I stop making money. And so the benefit that I realize looking back now that the military provides is the level of safety net, and at the level of fixed income, the level of security that it brings. And all this to me is summarized in, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. Right? There's a lot of stress that's taken off of you when your housing is taken care of, when you're given money for food, when you're giving a certain amount of money on a monthly basis, when you don't have to take care of like medical, dental expenses and insurance. Like today, I just realized like, one of my dental wasn't covered, so I just paid $600. Like, it is what it is. But it's like, man, if I was in the military, I would not have to worry about that. But like all these little things creep up on you, and I think about it often, right? It's like, cool, next month, like how much money do I need to make the month after that? Next year, how much money do I want to make for the year? Like all the responsibility of my success is dependent on me, and that level of responsibility is obviously what an entrepreneur is, but in many senses it's what a civilian is. Right? Like for those of you who are watching who are just a regular person, you might be thinking, well, I work for a company, but at the end of the day, the company is interested in the company. They can let you go. And so the responsibility of your life is basically on you. But in the military, the military, I would say, is a very much safer environment where they just can't just let you go on a whim. It happens a lot less. It happens, but it happens a lot less in the military in comparison to the corporate world. But the responsibility to take care of you and your family is more so on the military in comparison to you, right? Because as long as you're in the military, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you and your family is taken care of. And so when I was in my 20s, I was very gung ho, right? It's like I can do it all. But now that I'm in my 30s and I'm thinking about, I'm 32 going into my 40s, and I think about, let's say I do have a family in the future, I have a wife to take care of, and let's say I have 2 kids, then it's like 3 other lives along with my parents. That's like 5 lives that I could take care of, and that responsibility is on me. Right, I gotta make that much more money. Now, in the military, you might be also faced with the same situation, but at the same time, having the level of less worry of, oh well, my family, as well as my parents, their medical is going to be taken care of. Right, like while I'm in the military, I get a fixed income, but after my time in the military, I can also do other things, and I get fixed income on a monthly basis. There's that level of security that comes with that life. And so, do I regret it? No. Is there a part of me deep down inside that I wish I didn't have this responsibility? And had I not had this responsibility, I probably would have just still stayed in and kind of like see where life takes me? Yes. And in terms of like if I was to numerically categorize if it was worth it or not, the way I think about it is, 4 categories: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Personally for me, it's going to be different from everybody. But in terms of health, physically and mental, physically I'm better now than I was in the military. Oddly enough, because in the military, like physical fitness, like I had to do it for the military. If I didn't do it because of the military, I get punished. But for me, health now, physically, I do it for me. It's because I love me. I want to take care of me. As well as mental health. In the military, you don't have control of your life. The military has control of your life. And so for me, a level of control is important mentally. And so like health-wise, I'm a lot healthier now than I was in the military. Health, wealth. Wealth, I define it as current and future. I would say me being entrepreneurial, wealth predictor of success is a lot higher in the military in comparison to me doing it now. Because right now I'm basically by myself. There is no safety net. But in the military, there's a fixed base that you can operate out of. Like a lot of my foundational success early on in my entrepreneurial journey is because I had a fixed income coming in. There wasn't anything that I needed to worry about. And I can build on top of that strong foundation that the military provided. But out here in the civilian world, I have to create that strong foundation by putting in work on a consistent basis, and I can't stop. And so there is an element where sometimes I'm tired. Like I think for the month of October and November, I've been taking a break because I've worked hard this year. But at the same time, like I have the freedom, flexibility to do that, right? And I'm very grateful that I can do that. But in terms of wealth, I think the likelihood of me having a higher certainty and degree of success is a lot higher in the military, in comparison to what I thought now that I'm in the civilian world. Not to say like I'm still going to be just as successful, and I'm doing pretty okay for myself now. But I think the degree of success could have been a lot higher within the military for sure. And in terms of love, the way I categorize love is family, friends, and romance. Within those categories, am I better off now compared to the military? I would say yes, I'm better off now. Like love-wise, like I have such a great relationship with my parents than I did before I joined the military. Like I'm truly grateful. A lot of I post a lot on my Instagram of I get to eat dinner every single day with my parents because my mom does a lot of home cooked meals, and it's such a amazing experience, guys. Like I got offered a job, $200K a year to be in Las Vegas, and I moved from where I'm at in Pennsylvania, and I turned it down because I thought about, okay, 10 years from now, let's say I have $2 million and my parents are, let's say, dead. Would I give $2 million just to have a dinner with them one more time? And the answer to me is yes, which ultimately the reason why I didn't take that job, and I just stayed. And so, like love wise, my relationship with my family, it's like amazing. My friends, like I have a lot of church friends that I'm very close with. And in the military, I didn't have a lot of friends. I had like a small social circle, but I didn't really hang out with them. So I would say my social life is a lot better now, and that's one of the elements of a good human life. And then romance, I think the type of person that I want to find is the likelihood of me being able to find that person is a lot higher in the civilian world in comparison to the military world, which for me, it's just being able to find a good Korean American Christian girl that has a good degree. Like that's the type of person I want to find. I can do that more freely here in comparison to the military. And so, in terms of love, I would say the civilian world, and in terms of happiness, the way I categorize happiness is purpose and faith. My faith with my creator God is a lot higher now because I had the time and freedom and flexibility to go to different like conferences and events to be a better Christian and be surrounded with other Christians, as well as my purpose. I find a lot more meaning in being able to help people that I do in the capacity as an entrepreneur that I do, that I am. And so like in terms of happiness, like I am overall health, love, and happiness, I'm better off now in comparison that I was in the military. In the military, I think the only thing that wins it is wealth. So categorically, I would say that I don't have any regrets with my decision. If I was to, turn back time with everything that I know now, I would still have made the decision that I have made today to leave the military. But there is, like I said, there's a part of me that had I not had this level of responsibility, the likelihood of me having potentially stayed in the military is just as high too. And so hopefully that just gives you some perspective. It's good to catch up, guys. And peace.